The buzz surrounding Shakur Stevenson's recent victory is palpable, with fans and analysts alike dissecting every moment of the electrifying fight against William Zepeda. The energy in the air is infectious, as people share their thoughts on what many are calling a standout performance. One fan, caught up in the excitement, expressed their admiration for Stevenson's display, describing it as nothing short of phenomenal. They felt the fight was a thrilling spectacle, though they noted Zepeda might have made things unnecessarily complicated for himself by not capitalizing on certain moments. Still, the consensus was that Stevenson delivered a masterclass, proving his doubters wrong and showcasing a style that was both dynamic and commanding. The atmosphere at the event was electric, with applause and music amplifying the crowd's enthusiasm. One observer passionately defended Stevenson, rejecting claims that he's a runner or a boring fighter. They argued that his performance in Queens, New York, was anything but dull, likening it to the aggressive, crowd-pleasing style of a Mexican fighter. Drawing parallels to boxing legends like Stephen Fulton or Leo Santa Cruz, they emphasized that Stevenson fought with heart and tenacity, silencing critics who had underestimated him. The fight was described as a back-and-forth battle, with Zepeda dominating the first half and Stevenson taking control in the second. Many felt the scorecards didn't fully reflect the closeness of the contest, but there was no denying Stevenson's ability to rise to the occasion. When asked if the fight could be considered a contender for Fight of the Year, the response was overwhelmingly positive. The unexpected intensity and competitive nature of the bout made it a standout, with both fighters delivering a performance that kept the audience on the edge of their seats. Another fan, caught up in the moment, described Stevenson's work as magical and easy, praising his ability to make a tough fight look effortless. The excitement wasn't just limited to the fans in attendance. Social media buzzed with reactions, amplifying the narrative that Stevenson had delivered something special. On the other side, opinions about the matchup were varied leading up to the event. Some, including boxing professionals, leaned toward Zepeda, citing his relentless style and incredible punch output. One analyst predicted Zepeda could overwhelm Stevenson with his volume, potentially securing a decision or even a stoppage. They acknowledged Stevenson's technical brilliance but believed Zepeda's aggressive approach could exploit vulnerabilities, particularly if Stevenson's rumored hand issues came into play. Oscar de la Hoya, speaking to Fight Hub TV, echoed this sentiment, expressing confidence in Zepeda's ability to challenge Stevenson. De la Hoya, a promoter with Golden Boy, had been trying to make this fight happen for 3 years, and he was thrilled to see Zepeda finally get his shot. He described Zepeda as a fighter who throws punches in bunches, averaging an astonishing number of punches per round, which could test Stevenson's defensive mastery. De la Hoya drew comparisons between Stevenson and Floyd Mayweather, noting their shared traits of slick footwork, precise jabs, and a shoulder roll defense. However, he pointed out that Mayweather had been outworked by Jose Luis Castillo in a controversial fight years ago, a scenario he believed Zepeda could replicate. He suggested that Zepeda's high-volume, pressure-heavy style could disrupt Stevenson's rhythm, especially if he targeted the body and pinned Stevenson against the ropes. De la Hoya's enthusiasm for Zepeda was clear, as he praised his fighter's readiness and hunger for a world title shot. He acknowledged Stevenson's skill but remained steadfast in his belief that Zepeda's relentless attack could lead to an upset. Stevenson, however, was unfazed by the pre-fight chatter. In interviews, he exuded confidence, dismissing the notion that Zepeda's volume would be his undoing. He emphasized his mental preparation, stating that he was more focused than ever. Stevenson also addressed the Tom and Jerry comments made by Zepeda's camp, brushing them off as irrelevant. He viewed the fight as an opportunity to remind the world of his greatness, especially after facing criticism and doubt from fans and media alike. Stevenson's determination to prove himself was evident, as he spoke about waking up a monster within him and delivering a performance that would cement his status as one of boxing's elite. From a technical standpoint, the fight was a fascinating clash of styles. Stevenson, known for his clinical counterpunching and elite footwork, faced a formidable challenge in Zepeda, who leads the sport in punches thrown per round, according to CompuBox stats. Stevenson's efficiency, reflected in his top plus-minus rating, contrasted sharply with Zepeda's high-output approach. Some analysts pointed to Zepeda's fight against Tevin Farmer as evidence of his ability to overwhelm opponents with volume, even if the punches didn't always land cleanly. They speculated that Zepeda could sway judges with his activity, making rounds appear competitive even if Stevenson landed the cleaner shots. Zepeda, for his part, was confident in his game plan. During an open workout, He emphasized that his high punch volume would neutralize Stevenson's speed and agility. He acknowledged Stevenson's movement but believed his pressure would force Stevenson into uncomfortable positions, creating openings for his relentless attack. Zepeda's team, led by De La Hoya, echoed this sentiment, expressing unwavering belief in their fighter's ability to dethrone the undefeated champion. The fight itself lived up to the hype, with both men showcasing their strengths. Stevenson's footwork and counterpunching were on full display, but Zepeda's pressure kept the action intense. The crowd at Louis Armstrong Stadium in Queens was treated to a spectacle that balanced technical brilliance with raw aggression. Stevenson's ability to adapt in the later rounds proved to be the difference, as he countered Zepeda's volume with precise, effective shots. While some felt the scorecards were questionable, the consensus was that Stevenson's performance was a statement to the boxing world. For Stevenson, the victory was about more than just retaining his WBC lightweight title. As the final fight in his deal with promoter Eddie Hearn, it opened the door to lucrative opportunities, including a potential unification bout with Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Stevenson's alignment with Saudi Arabian advisor Al-Sheikh further raised the stakes, as a win over Zepeda positioned him as a prime candidate for superstardom. In interviews, Stevenson spoke candidly about his ambitions, expressing confidence that a superstar performance would propel him to the next level. The post-fight reactions were a mix of admiration and analysis. Fans marveled at Stevenson's ability to handle Zepeda's pressure, while others debated whether Zepeda could have done more to capitalize on his early momentum. The fight's competitive nature sparked discussions about a potential rematch, with some believing Zepeda's output could pose an even greater threat with adjustments. Meanwhile, Stevenson's camp was already looking ahead, with talks of bigger fights and a chance to unify the lightweight division. The boxing community also took note of Stevenson's evolution as a fighter. Once criticized for being too defensive or boring, he showed a willingness to engage and take risks against Zepeda. This shift in approach was seen as a response to the fans' desire for more action-packed performances. De La Hoya's pre-fight comments about Stevenson needing to prove he's not a runner seemed to resonate, as Stevenson fought with a chip on his shoulder, determined to silence his critics. Zepeda, despite the loss, earned respect for his relentless effort. His high-volume style pushed Stevenson to his limits, and many felt he deserved credit for making the fight as competitive as it was. De La Hoya's post-fight remarks were gracious, acknowledging Stevenson's skill while praising Zepeda's heart and determination. He hinted at future opportunities for Zepeda, suggesting that the experience would only make him stronger. The fight also highlighted the contrasting dynamics of modern boxing. Stevenson's technical mastery, reminiscent of Mayweather, represents a traditional, defense-first approach that prioritizes efficiency and control. Zepeda, on the other hand, embodies the aggressive, fan-friendly style that has become increasingly popular in recent years. The clash of these philosophies made for a compelling narrative, as fans debated whether skill or volume would ultimately prevail. Looking ahead, the boxing world is buzzing with possibilities. Stevenson's victory has positioned him as a central figure in the lightweight division, with potential matchups against top names like Tank Davis, Devin Haney, or Vasily Lomachenko. For Zepeda, the loss is a setback but not a career ender. His performance showed he belongs among the elite, and with the right adjustments, he could return stronger in future title fights. The event also underscored the growing influence of Saudi Arabia in boxing. Stevenson's ties to Al-Sheikh and the potential for high-profile fights in the region signal a shift in the sports landscape. The financial backing and global reach of Saudi promoters are creating new opportunities for fighters, and Stevenson is well-positioned to capitalize on this trend. As the dust settles, the conversation continues. Fans are already speculating about Stevenson's next move and whether Zepeda can bounce back with another title shot. The fight was a reminder of why boxing remains one of the most captivating sports, blending strategy, athleticism, and raw emotion. For Stevenson, it was a chance to prove his greatness. For Zepeda, it was an opportunity to show his heart. Both men delivered, and the boxing world is better for it.